Now we can look at exercise 1.12, where we need to know how to work with directed numbers. Directed numbers gives you a certain direction. So for instance, if we're talking about temperature, at 0 degrees Celsius, this is what we call our freezing point. Anything below 0, we would write -1, -2, -3, -4. As it goes down and down, and as the number gets bigger, it's going to get colder and colder and colder. This is getting colder because there's a certain direction to it. If we're talking about getting hotter, it's just going towards the positive sign. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. It gets hotter and hotter and hotter as the number increases. So this is something that you need to get used to it, whereby we have a certain level that is at 0. Anything below that will get a negative value. Anything above that will get a different value. So for instance, if you're in a lift, you have to press the button and you're going higher floor or whatsoever. So normally we have something called a ground floor. Then we have the first floor, the second floor, and then we have the third floor. But we don't have a -1 floor here, but we do have something called B1. Let's see, we have something called B1. Basement 1, basement 2, and so on, basement 3. So these are what we call our negative floors. So this one here, you can actually see that it goes lower and lower and lower. And this one goes higher and higher and higher, this one goes lower and lower. All right, so this one here is actually a directed number as well. So this is actually -1, -2, -3, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So when we use a number line, we can use directed numbers. So 0 is here, then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where you learn where your negative comes to play, -1, -2, -3. So you have to get used to the idea that -1 is actually smaller than 0 because it's below 0. -2, as the number gets bigger, it is even smaller than 0. So the further it is from 0, the smaller the number gets. Okay, so you can use this, or you can also use it for altitude. We have something called a sea level. We need to use this to calculate certain distance. So for instance, if you are a diver that is here, you're a diver, and then there's an airplane here. There's a plane here, and then you're a diver, and then we want to calculate the distance between the plane and the diver. So how far it is. So we need to use directed numbers. So let's say this one is 1,000 meters above ground, above sea level, and then this one is 200 meters below sea level. So if you look at the diagram, it's easy to calculate. But if I want to represent, I have to say that the diver is at -200 meters and the plane is at 1,000 meters. So if I want to find the difference, if I need to find the difference here, I need to use 1,000 minus -200, then I can find how far they are, 1,200 meters away. So this is how you calculate, or how you use directed numbers to actually calculate certain distance or how far they are. So you just need to know that negative numbers, the bigger the value here, the bigger the number, the bigger the digit, the smaller the value. So let's say -45 is actually smaller than -43. This is bigger than this. So as the digits gets bigger, the value gets smaller for the negative numbers. All right, so that's something that you need to know because it gets further away from 0. All right, so you need to know how to rearrange them, or you need to know how to use them to understand data like temperature, height, or, well, displacement, or a distance between two things. Okay.